What's up, everybody? It's Ty the Bourbon Guy, and welcome back to the 25 Days of Whiskey. Today is day 21. 21? 21 days of whiskey, and I felt like the one we need to take a look at today is Four Roses Small Batch Select. Now, Four Roses as a distillery, I love just about everything that comes out of that place. The only one that I don't really care for is the yellow label, but that one, in my opinion, has a purpose when it comes to cocktails. There's a lot of bars that I go to that I ask for, what's your well, or what do you put in your cocktails? And they say Four Roses. Nothing wrong with that. I will take that all day long as your well bourbon. So I don't want to say that I don't like it. It's just when I prefer to drink whiskey neat. It's not one that I would reach for neat. But in a cocktail, absolutely. Everything else that they have, the single barrels, whether it's the 100 proof or the barrel strength, their limited editions, the small batch select, any of them. I would take them all. They're all good. For me, somebody that's going to drink them neat, if somebody were to make a cocktail with a small batch, I can understand that as well. Or maybe they want to put small batch select on a rock, or, add a few drops of water, something like that. Absolutely understand that as well. These whiskeys, in my opinion, are very, very good, and they provide a different experience than some of the others. The spice, the baking spices, that rye spice that they provide is just something about it. There's just something about it that's very good. For whatever reason, to me, when I drink these, if I'm having other whiskeys, I try to either not drink anything after the Four Roses or whatever the case is, or just stick to Four Roses all night, because there's just something about it that I enjoy it on its own. But when I have it with other whiskeys, it can impact some of the other tastings that I have going on. So if I drink something else before this and then have this, it kind of just tastes different to me. But then also, if I have this and drink something else, then the next thing I have just tastes different to me. So for me personally, when I drink Four Roses, I try to just stick in that lane for that night. But, again, it's your whiskey. You do what you want. But that's just kind of what I do. This bottle, you can see how much I enjoy the Four Roses Small Batch Select. But the first time I ever actually had this bottle, my wife and I went to Four Roses Distillery, did the tour. It was just awesome talking with them. We did the tasting after, and I just asked, like, hey, do you have anything special in your gift shop, and all that stuff? And they said, well, we have this new release. It's called Small Batch Select. They kind of explained it to me, and I won't necessarily do it in this video, but I would encourage you to look up all their recipes. Basically, Four Roses has the ability to create different recipes, and then depending on which bottle that they have, they're mixing some of those recipes together. So she explained that process to me, and what that Small Batch Select actually, the recipes that are included in this, and the overall profile of what this is going to give me. And I was just excited. The fact that I hadn't seen it, this was a new product at that time. To my knowledge, that was the only place that I saw it. I don't think it was available in Indiana yet. So to come back with a bottle of that, I felt like I was on top of the world. You would have thought I scored a limited edition, Four Roses or something like that. But really, really excited to have that, and especially before it ever hit the state. So really cool in terms of bourbon hunting. Really cool experience going there to see the distillery and talk with them. But what's more important is how good that whiskey is. So it's just one that I encourage people to try. It's only 104 proof. And so I feel like even if somebody's kind of new to whiskey, or maybe have just had a few others, so, if they've had the Maker's Mark, they've had Woodford before, maybe they do Jack and Coke or whatever. If you're used to alcohol in general and a little bit of a higher proof, um, I would say 80 or above, 80 to 90 range, then I would have no problem recommending this to you. There's other people that I know that, have tried different whiskeys, and I've recommended, and everybody that I've ever recommended Small Batch Select to has enjoyed it. There's other people that tell me, like, oh, I just know I like Four Roses Small Batch. And I'm like, well, then this is the perfect one to go to, is the Select. Or maybe somebody's tried the single barrel 100 proof. Again, to go up to 104, still a Four Roses product, still a recommendation. So to my knowledge, there's nobody that I've recommended this bottle to that disliked it. So that's always good. And personally, I've only ever met one person that said they didn't like it. And so that's not to say that you will absolutely like it. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is it seems like more people like it than dislike it. So in that sense, I think it's worth the buy for sure. In my area, I believe this is around $50 to $60 range. I'm not sure. It's been a while, but I think it's typically in that range somewhere. um, but either way, it doesn't matter what the range is. For me personally, I'm going to buy it. It's worth it for sure. If somebody you know has it, or I would say if you've ever had any of the other Four Roses products and you like them, give it a shot for sure. So, with this being part of my whiskey journey of going out there, finding the bottle before it hit the States and, bringing it back and all the stuff that it takes to go into bourbon hunting and just to have a special bottle. They just released it that day, or not that day, but I guess right around then, something like that. I figured, let's go with this one for day 21. Fantastic bottle. I encourage you to purchase it if you haven't already tried it. Thank you so much for being here for day 21. Like, subscribe, comment, do other things, and I will see you tomorrow for day 22. Cheers.